Hi guys, it's J Rhymes here, back at it again with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. That would mean a lot. So before we get started with this video, God loves all, and just love yourself. So I really wasn't gonna make a video today. I'm kind of just like I wasn't going to be in the mood, but I was like, I got a question on YouTube in one of the comments saying, am I still detransitioned and stuff like that. So I've detransitioned a year ago, approximately a year ago. I made that video. If you have not seen it, go watch it. And I haven't been on hormones since, so I haven't been in and out of hormone therapy. Once I made that video, even before that video, I was already off testosterone, and I haven't went on testosterone again. A lot of people, there's a bee. A lot of people will ask, like, what kind of changes have I experienced? And so I'm just gonna kind of get into like the details about everything and kind of like give you an update on it. So basically, I don't remember exactly like when I stopped testosterone. All I know is it was way before I made that video. But the changes I've noticed is the body fat distribution and stuff like that. Like, I've always been skinny, like I said, but I definitely did start seeing myself gaining weight, and with that also came with eating more and looking fuller, if that makes sense. So I was looking fuller in the face, looking fuller in the thighs, arms, whatever, which was helping build muscle. Now that I stopped taking testosterone for a year, I've kind of just like went back to my old body type, like it's kind of weird, but I kind of just like reverted back, if that makes sense. The next thing I would say is that my appetite has decreased, so I don't eat as much, which is kind of bad for me because like I want to gain weight and shit, so I kind of like have to force myself to eat more now. But it's nothing like significant. My face has gotten narrower again, so it's not as full. Like my cheeks and stuff were getting full and boxier. Like my hairline was getting boxier and stuff like that. Now, not so much. I have sideburns and everything, but that's because I put minoxidil on my face still. I actually stopped doing that just because I'm tired of it. And I haven't grown that much hair since I'm taking testosterone. My voice, I did notice a decrease in the depth of my voice. I feel like my voice when I was still on T, my voice was getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it wasn't even at its full potential. But now I realize that my voice has went down like a semi-octave. It's still deep, but it's not as deep as it would have been or could have been. So yeah, I'm not mad about it because at the end of the day, it is what it is. My Adam's apple still is there, but it's like smaller now. It's not protruding as much. And so, yeah, everybody's gonna ask, has your chest grown back? Yes, it has grown back. Not big, it hasn't grown big, but it definitely, the fat has came back, which is the only thing I'm kind of mad about. But it's also like God made me who I am, so at the end of the day, it's like I just gotta love it, I guess. My hands, they kind of like the same. They've always been long and wide and stuff like that, but other than that, there hasn't really been any changes that that haven't been stuff I've already been through, because obviously I was born biologically male. I mean female. Female. And I think that in reality, like, a lot of people are like, what are you now? Who are you? And what is this? And I'm like, honestly, like, I'm not trying to say that um, there's anything wrong with being trans. Like, but it's not everybody tells you what goes on and how it affects you. A lot of people think that I'm a detransitioner and that this is I didn't know I was trans and whatever not. And that's really not the fucking case. Like, honestly, like, that is not the case. The case is, like, I was taking testosterone. I have a really sensitive body. If y'all don't know me, I have a really sensitive body. The lotion, to medications I take, to even the face products I put, you know what I mean? Just everything I'm very sensitive to. So people think like, oh, like, he just detransitioned and he doesn't know who the fuck he is. That's not the case always with some people. I was actually highly allergic to the testosterone I was putting in my body. So every week that I would take it, I would have to take Benadryl. And Benadryl, if you know, any drug that you're taking for a long time can affect the liver. And also, if you're allergic to it, you don't know what it's actually doing to your body, right? So for me, it was like, I just got to a point. I was like, I don't know if I'm willing to put my life at jeopardy just because I want to look a certain way and feel a certain way. Like, yeah, like, that's why you take testosterone, but it's like, is it worth it if I'm allergic to it? No. I was having way more complications than the average person that was taking tea, and it just wasn't healthy for my body. And a lot of people are like, well, what are you now? And it's like, honestly, like, if I wasn't allergic to taking tea, I probably wouldn't have stopped taking it. And that's just like the realistic part about it. But also, I see the other part of it where it's like, God does things for a reason. So if that happened, that made me allergic to tea, and that I'm allergic to tea, what am I really supposed to be doing with my life? Am I supposed to be, dwelling over the fact that I can't take tea, or just like love the person I am and that what God made me to be? Like, I have no choice. Like, I can't just be like one day like, oh, I'm not allergic to tea no more. Testosterone, I'm not allergic to it no more. Like, I can't do that. So at the end of the day, it's like, people ask me these questions, and it's like, it's not ignorant, but it's also like, I'm just trying to give you like why I actually stopped. And like, I know that a lot of people watch the transition videos, but mine is a little bit different just because I was actually allergic to the actual medication. People are like, why didn't you go on a different medication? It was just, I didn't go on a different medication because at the time I was just experiencing so many different side effects on top of just like uncomfortability with like what was happening with my body. If you watch the other video, you will know that it wasn't worth it to me at the end of the day. I was like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's why I detransitioned, not because I didn't feel like I was like supposed to be male. I always knew. God just said no. You see what I'm saying? Like, God just literally said no. And honestly, it's a blessing because I've been able to find myself slowly and slowly again. People are probably going to wonder, like, why don't I have long hair? Why don't I be more feminine and stuff like that? You guys have to remember, like, if you guys don't know me, you guys will really not understand. But even when I was, even before I started taking testosterone and before I came out and before everything happened when I was young, I was always like this. Like, everybody saw me like this. Like, I was just very, like, masculine. Even though, like, I show feminine sides of myself, I was just always, like, I like to wear T-shirts. I like to wear shorts. Like, that's just my everyday thing. And that's even what I was doing when I was 4 years old. Like, I just always been this way. So when people say, like, oh, like, he's not really detransitional, or he's, like, no. I just am who I am, and that's what I am. And now people are probably going to ask, why do you still go by he, him pronouns, whatever not. I feel comfortable still by going by he, him pronouns. I don't really want to call myself they, them, just because I don't see myself as an object. Personally, I don't see myself as a multiple of people, even though I have multiple personalities. Sort of, that's on a different subject. But I kind of just like going by he, him. It's something that I got comfortable with, but it's also something that I'm also realizing that, like, I'm getting older. I'm about to be 22 years old, and though it might not be a big age, I'm really finding myself, and I'm really trying to figure out like if I can be 100% comfortable within myself to be called she, her. And a lot of people don't even know the backstory of why I get so agitated with being called she, her, and all that stuff. It's not because I don't respect females and I don't respect the pronouns for myself. I just think that I was bullied a lot when I was a kid, and I never looked like the average girl, and so that programmed my mind to make me think that I'm not good enough, and that I'm never going to look like the girl that people want to see. So for me, it was like I felt uncomfortable right off the bat. Also, my mom would try to make me, wear dresses and embarrass me a lot of the times that I really just like I couldn't really love who I was as a girl, because in reality, it just wasn't the way I feel like it was supposed to be, and that's perfectly fine. But I also do think that at the end of the day, like, I do want to get to a point where like I can be called she, her, and reflect back and to be like, why didn't I like that, and why was it so triggering for me, and why was it so hard for me to just accept it. And I'm still working on acceptance, because I never even thought that I would be allergic to testosterone. So people have to remember, I'm still going through this day by day and realizing that I am who I am and I can't do anything about it. And that's perfectly fine, because God doesn't make mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's still really hard for me to accept myself 100%. With that said, I think that people are like, what am I now? You get that a lot. You get questions a lot of the time of like, what am I now? And people are asking me like, oh, why do you have a boyfriend? Like, and because I always said I like girls. And I'm going to get into everything, because I feel like this is just across the board. I don't think hormones has changed my view about my sexuality. I think that I covered up a lot of trauma, because I was hurt when I was younger by males, and also I was told I was ugly by males and whatever, that I would never like, you know what I mean? And so I just grew up like just thinking that nobody that was a male was gonna like me and stuff like that. And so you program that into your mind when you're younger, but then also you don't understand why you're so attracted to girls, and that's your thing, because you're not even looking at the guys at this point, you're just looking at the girls. So you're like, oh wow, like they're actually attractive. And like for me, it was like I was so masculine that their feminine energy like was like the semi attraction. It was like the opposite attraction. Like I'm masculine, they're feminine, and it almost like worked for me. But it also didn't work for me, because I had to realize that at the end of the day, even though I have masculine features, I also have feminine features. And a lot of girls, like, they don't, at the time at least, they didn't like that I had feminine features. And not even feminine, like, body parts, just feminine, like, mannerisms. Because you have to realize, like, even though you're a girl, you still have feminine and masculine mannerisms. Just for males, some males might have, feminine and masculine features, you know what I mean? And mannerisms. And so a lot of girls didn't like that, and so it just didn't work out. And at the time, I was just very sensitive with my emotions, because I went through a lot as a kid. So it just wasn't working out. And then finally, I was like, why am I dug down deep, and I was like, why am I scared of men? Why am I scared of this feeling? And it was because I was judging myself off of other people's judgment, and not giving myself to actually give a guy a chance. Yes, was it scary? I think this was the scariest relationship I got in by far, just because I've never done something like that. But anything that you haven't done is going to be scary. So I had to realize, like, if he treats me good, if he's nice, if he's protective, if he's safe, and he doesn't judge me, and if he's not judgmental and controlling, why am I scared? And I gave it a shot. And everybody's like, yo, like, I never saw James with a guy before. And it's like, honestly, like, in reality, if I loved myself enough back then, and I stuck out with not transitioning, not coming out, and I'm a biological female, wouldn't I be with a guy? So it just like makes me think, like, a lot of people like to judge you off of your appearance. Like, if you look masculine, you shouldn't be with a guy. And it's like, wait, what? But I'm a female, and I still deserve that chance to figure out who I am as such. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I wanted to go about and talk about. My detransition has been the best thing that has ever happened. I haven't had any more complications, and I haven't taken Benadryl in a long time. Yes, is detransitioning. Do I still have dysphoria? Yes, I still do have dysphoria. I still go through times where I'm like, I just want to try to take tea again, but I know that it's not worth it at the end of the day of me being allergic to it. I just don't think it's healthy for my body, and that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, am I upset about it? I am upset about it. I'm still trying to grieve because a lot of my friends are trans and they have transitioned, and they do look more presentable now. And for me, it's like, I know I'm never going to get to the degree of masculinity I want to get to, but it's also like, at the end of the day, I kind of think that it's not worth it for me to judge myself of other people's perceptions and vice versa. I think that I just need to love myself, and everybody's journey is different. And I'm thankful for you guys watching this. Somebody actually asked, why do I move so much while I'm making videos? If you didn't know, now you know. I have ADHD. I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was in 5th grade. And even prior to that, I have had ADHD. So for me, sitting still is very hard for me, and I'm sorry if you don't like that, and I'm sorry if that bothers you. But honestly, at the end of the day, there's certain things I just can't control. I'm trying more. I'm trying to sit in one spot, then walk around and do what I usually do. Still difficult for me. But yeah, thank you for listening to this video. Like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Give us a comment. Let me know what you think. This was just my own personal view. If you don't agree, that's fine. And yeah, peace.